Good morning. Let's just um, let's just take a moment. This may be enough time to just get all the bait clickers to get off the channel. So those of us who are looking forward to changing can spend some time together. Let's start off and just state out loud. I choose to connect to my deep self. Looking at why my head looks crooked, but I choose to connect to my deep self. And notice any change that you notice when you do that. I choose to connect to my higher self. I ground myself to the healing center of the earth. And I open myself to the healing power of the One. I release anything that is not useful to me now. And you don't need to know what that is. You just state it out loud if it's not useful to you and you're getting help from your guides, your higher self and your deep self and cosmic self and the I am that you are and all of that stuff, then you can just like let go a little bit and say, if it's not in my highest good, I let go of it and see what happens. And if you choose to work with the Hathors, you state out loud, I choose to work with the Hathors. And you just notice if you feel like stating those words out loud created any type of change for you. And you don't need to judge the change. Just notice, oh, something feels different, or, oh, nothing feels different. And that's either noticing, it's noticing a change either way. Because if you notice that something feels different, that indicates a change. And if you notice that nothing feels different, that indicates, or maybe that indicates a pattern. Well, nothing. No, I didn't feel anything. Okay, so to somewhat avoid um, making really long videos, which is my goal in life, is to avoid making really long videos. One of my goals, not my only goal. um, we have entered we've entered the month of the crystal moon of cooperation. So I just think that that's a pretty cool looking piece of art. I didn't read what it was. It's a Chakruna by Aurélien Pumayana Floret. Thank you very much, Aurélien, for a beautiful piece of artwork. Oh, it says that if you want to look at more of his or her work, because I don't really know Aurélien, it it doesn't matter on some levels, but you can go to pumayana.com to see maybe more of Aurélien, or maybe it's hard not to just go off track. I start to think of George Orwell and Orwellian, and this is Aurelian or Aurelian or Orwellian. I just don't know. And these are very Orwellian times from my perspective. Okay, so we're on day 2. So if you notice on the calendar, the 12th month, the 12th lunar month of the 13 lunar months of the Mayan year. So the 12th lunar month is the crystal moon of cooperation. I'm liking it already. I like this month already. I like today already. And it goes from May 30th to June 26th. Then we go into the 13th. I'll go ahead and give you a little lead into it. We go into the 13th lunar month, the cosmic moon of presence. Looking forward to that month too. And I'm glad to be done with the 11th month, which we just completed, which was the spectral month of liberation. And yes, I feel very liberated by that from that month, but I felt like I got kicked down the tracks while I was liberating. So I'm just glad to be through that, and I'm holding an awareness and a hope and a dream that this month will be somewhat easier, and it's up to me. Okay, and you. If it's not easy, I'll blame you. And that way I won't have to take any responsibility for the world that I'm creating. So, day 2 is Crystal Day 2 is a blue lunar night. It's guided by vision. If you really want to understand this this video and the next video, you might want to watch the video I made earlier in this morning. I actually have combed my hair. It may not look like it, but I've combed my hair since that video. But you might want to watch the earlier video from today, which has to do with thoughts that arose out of my conversation that I was having in the morning, and all these things are kind of coming to me. So it's a little bit of the changes I'm noticing myself going through. And oftentimes people have let me know that the changes that I'm going through are similar to the changes they're going through. Now, to name drop, I'm just going to drop the name Eric Clapton. But I watched a video of Eric Clapton that was done recently with a 1980s disc jockey, radio host, personality person. I think his name was Michael Spira. And he was talking about Eric Clapton, who's a rock blues musician who I've liked since I was a teenager. And I realized in this interview how many similarities there are between his consciousness and mine. And there's more than just that. He talked about how he was really having to radically change his diet because he just wasn't digesting foods well, and he was feeling bloated. So that's a way that he and I are just, in oneness together. Bloated 70-year-old dudes with indigestion. So power to the people, really. Okay, so continuing in our distraction, but it may be healing all of us. So you just can't put down distraction as a useless waste of time. It may be actually the way that we all shift and change. So yesterday was day 1 of the crystal lunar month of whatever it was. I think it has to do with cooperation, maybe. So yesterday was day 1, the magnetic tone, which is to unify, attract, purpose. And today is day 2, the lunar tone, to polarize, stabilize, and challenge. And so the words are, all antagonisms are complementary. Just let that sit there. You can fight it, you can argue with it, you can say that's not true, you can say that is true, or you can just sit with it. All antagonisms are complementary. From one comes two. Opposing forces work together, counterbalancing each other in a field of stability. Black and white, night and day, good and evil, work and play. The yin and yang, the beauty of relationship, represents the essential dance of two. Everything defines and is defined by its polar opposite. We are described and highlighted by what we are not. It is said, if the valley filled up, the mountains would disappear. Tone 2 helps us to see that it is light which creates shadows, that winter and summer are but two products of one force, experienced from contrasting positions. Night and day are faces of the one earth as it revolves. Polarized states we encounter in daily life can serve as extremes which challenge us. The moon, keeper of lunar lunacy. I like that, lunar lunacy. Now, how long have I been reading this calendar? I'm going to say probably since the 90s. It was the first time I ever actually read that. And maybe they change it every year. The keeper of lunar lunacy reminds us that as we can only see one side of her at a time, so too might we be restricted to only one side of a perceptual equation. If we overlook the inherent unity that opposing forces are born of, polarity is experienced as duality. Duality, the destructive illusion of separation, denies that counterbalances exist to serve each other. Challenges that appear as hardship or struggle, when seen from another perspective, can bear the blessings of opportunity. Tone 2 encourages stabilize challenge by receiving opposition as a catalyst to generate holistic awareness. Embrace challenges as stimulating soul growth. I'm going to be listening to this one a few times. So far, so good. And it gets better. So, you're probably not going to do this. But when I say you're probably not going to do this, if you're the kind of person to go ahead and do it to show that I was wrong, get polarized about it, then you may end up doing it because I suggest that you don't do it. And for those who do it because I suggest you do it, I'm suggesting that both you don't do it and you do this. And not suggesting that you scratch your nose with your thumb and your index finger. I'm suggesting that you consider watching the video I made first thing this morning, even though my hair is a mess, and it's semi-mess now, but it was more of a mess. The lighting was bad. I didn't look good. Not that I ever look good, but sometimes I look better than other times. And maybe not. Maybe it's just my illusion. But that video, I felt like I just downloaded information as it came in from the dream world and my morning experience. And it seems like the dream world and the day world are commingling a lot lately. It feels like I'm remembering my dreams. I'm seeing how they're interacting with my life. And then today is a dreamy day. I feel very dreamy. I feel very present and alert and aware, but I also feel like I'm in the dream, which may be that I'm waking up to the experience of being in the dream. And then, of course, I look at what this day is, according to the Mayan calendar, and this is the day of the blue night. I just think this stuff's all fascinating. That's why I keep doing it, because it's fascinating to me. And and I watch my videos 3 or 4 times frequently because they just give me so much information from the higher realms. So I'm going to tuck this under here and I'm going to read to you about the blue night. And blue relates to the west, which is about transformation. And also the blue light chakra area is the solar plexus. And the blue night is about dreams, abundance, and intuition. And this is, I love the Oahu lineage. I loved that I could just say, somebody say, well, who are you? I say, I'm of the Oahu lineage. Oahu! I just love the name, the Oahu lineage, and I may very well be a part of the Oahu lineage. We just don't know. It's not the Yahoo lineage, but it's the Oahu lineage, and they may have stolen the name Yahoo from the Oahu people, like we've stolen so many things from the original people. But here's what it's in quotes. So somebody must have said, what occurs around you and within you reflects your own mind and shows you the dream you are weaving. Folks, I just think this is as good as it gets. We're going on a journey to another dimension in time, a time when you yourself discover that you are yourself in a much larger and broader aspect of who you thought you were prior to discovering the real you, the authentic self, the expanded, conscious, ever connecting self that you are on the deepest level and at the highest level. Blue light represents enclosing darkness, the place of mystery, the sanctuary of inner self. The code, quote, dream offers the perspective that the living universe is fluid and malleable, unlimited creative intelligence which shapeshifts in response to our inner perceptions. Likewise, all that we encounter and everyone around us are dream figures within our dream. And without this calendar, I still have been saying this for many years, that I've been saying that this is your play. You're the writer, director, producer, and everybody in your play or movie are just characters in your movie. And here they are saying it related to the blue night. Reflecting both conscious and unconscious parts of ourself. What are you, quote, dreaming up in your life? We have the ability to awaken at any moment and lucidly dream our waking reality. I'm going to read it again. You can think about it. And I'm going to read that again for me for later. We have the ability to awaken at any moment and lucidly dream our waking reality. I'm not going to read it 3 times, but I want to read it 3 times. As we let go of rationale and find trust in our intuition, we access abundant inner resources to uniquely guide our journey through infinite dreamscapes. Blue night is directly associated with redeeming materialism by honoring the ever-present abundance of the universe's gift. True wealth is not found in acquisition of material goods, but rather is revealed as the treasure of gratitude. Acknowledging the blessing of plenitude that already exists, This heartfelt energy magically attracts that which fulfills our desires and dreams. And another quote from the Venerable Dhyani Yawahu. So I'm just going to suggest that the Venerable Dhyani Yawahu is part of the Yawahu lineage, and maybe even the heart of it, the head of it, or the heart of it. I'm guessing he's probably the heart of the Yawahu lineage. And it's quoted, so somebody wrote it down maybe after he said it or just remembered it. Acknowledge the abundance in our life. It creates waves of grace. And just feel them if you want to. Acknowledging the abundance in our life, it creates waves of grace on which to move in the world. Waves of grace. Much better than Amity's hand glider. And if you missed that story, you missed a good story. Generosity means giving, and it begins in the heart. So he's, the head. He's the heart of this Yuahu lineage. By affirming confidence in the abundance of the universe, abundance flows in a circle, so when you fear and think scarcity thoughts, then the flow of abundance in our lives becomes constricted. Generous actions from a generous heart bring peace and abundance for you and all in the circle. Recognize that you always have something to give and then share it with others. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Have a lovely day. Tomorrow is a yellow seed day, just to keep you up on upcoming excitements. And remember that this month, this is just day 2 of 28 days of the month of the crystal moon, of cooperation, which is about dedicating, universalizing, and cooperation. Do your little bit of good where you are. It's those little bits of good that overwhelm the world. Desmond Tutu, head of another lineage. So with that, I say thank you very much for being here and listening and being on this journey with me. It is a journey, and we may have some vision of a destination, but it may just be that we're along for the ride. But we can be creative and we can participate. And so have a lovely day, and namaste.